anyone from that part of Kitsap County about their most famous neighbor, and they likely have a story about New York Times best-selling author Debbie Macomber.
Yeah, Travis grew up in Port Orchard as well, went to school with the Macomber kids, and Debbie agreed to sit down with you for a very rare TV interview. So this is cool, Travis.
Yeah, I was really excited to get a chance to talk to Debbie. She has written so many bestsellers that when in the interview I asked her, so can you give me a number of bestsellers that you've written? And she couldn't even come up with a number. We were in a library that was just filled with books, top to bottom, floor to ceiling. It was incredible. But it's not just books. I mean, she's inspired TV shows, movies, 100 Hallmark products. It's amazing. She's a multi-million-dollar media brand, which that means when I tell you she nearly didn't get published at all back in the day, even I was shocked to hear that. Take a listen.
We have a magazine now that we're doing. It's called Welcome Home.
Oh, cool.
And I decided to be like Oprah and be on the cover of every issue.
I'm glad, because you should be on every issue. Before the magazine covers.
And my mom said that when the librarian gave me the book, I took hold of it with both of my hands and put it right next to my heart.
Before the kids' books.
When I was in the 3rd grade, the teacher told my mom at a parent-teacher conference, Debbie's a nice little girl, but she's never going to do well.
Before the jigsaw puzzles.
I'm dyslexic. I didn't learn to read until I was in the 5th grade.
Before 36 years of bestsellers.
The dream of writing books pounded in me. The only way I can think to describe it is if you cut yourself, it'll throb with pain. But when I thought about writing books, I throbbed with joy.
The throbbing beat into her 20s. She was married with a young family, tapping out her dream on a rented manual typewriter.
We couldn't afford the rental fee on an electric because we were a one-income family and I was home with the 4 kids.
Writing 4 books.
Oh, I finished one book, went out the door, started on the next one, out the door, started on the next one, out the door.
5 years passed filled with rejection and humiliation from editors.
I'll never forget this pitying look that came in. She leaned forward, she put her hand on my arm, looked me straight in the eye and said, throw it away.
Then another author's kind word.
Don't leave a rejected manuscript on your desk. It has a home. Your job is to find it.
A new publisher.
I loaded the kids up in the station wagon. I took them to the post office. We mailed off that manuscript. I got home. Ted went down to get the mail and he said, Mom, that letter you've been waiting for is here. I stood right in the middle of the street, tore open the envelope, and it said, do not mail us your manuscript. We're not buying.
Debbie collapsed.
I went in the house, I laid down on the sofa. I didn't move. I've never been that depressed. Well, that was before I had teenagers. So 3 weeks later, New York called and bought the book. If I had waited a half hour, I would never have mailed it off. God's hand.
They bought all 4 books. One shot to the top of the bestsellers list.
But I know if I had quit being a writer, I would have lost a piece of my soul.
And then a true storytelling twist. Remember that visit to the library back in childhood?
The librarian who handed me that book was Beverly Clary.
A sign, a gift, a lifeline from one future writer to another.
The stories were always good. The writing, I was very immature. I had to learn to be the writer.